guys, so today I'm going to be doing a kind of like a Q&A video for one of my piercings. So I posted on, I believe it was Twitter, for anybody who had any questions for me. A few people DM'd me questions about tongue piercings and specifically, and questions they had about like the healing process, the pain levels, stuff like that. So I kind of just picked the top 10, and I'm going to do a top 10 Q&A for the tongue piercing. So as you guys can see, I have my tongue pierced. I had 2 of them, but I'm down to 1 now. I will be getting the second one re-pierced, and then I can do kind of like an updated video. But, so that's the tongue piercing. Obviously you guys all know what it is. Everybody's seen them like 1.5 million times. So I just got my list of questions, and I'm just gonna get right to it. Number 1, did it hurt? I don't know why people ask this question, honestly. I feel like it's kind of standard, but yeah, it hurt. It's a tongue piercing. There's a needle going straight through your tongue. People who say it doesn't hurt, they're liars. It's not that it's like screaming pain. It is super uncomfortable, and it did hurt. It's like when you stub your toe, or when you bump your funny bone, or something like that. Did it hurt? Yeah. Was it horrible, screaming, terrible pain? No. So yes, it hurt. But yes, it's bearable, for sure. I heard that so number 2, somebody said that they heard the clamps hurt more than the actual piercing, and is it true? So for me, the clamp was really uncomfortable, but because I knew what was coming next, the needles still hurt more than the clamps. The clamps were definitely uncomfortable, but the needles sucked. So there's that. Number 3, how long until you can eat again? So I waited not very long. Like, I was eating that night, obviously. You just have to be careful when you chew. You have to be careful about what you're eating. I think that night I had something like Chinese food or something like that, where I had soy sauce, and the sodium content was crazy, and it burned my tongue a little bit, but it wasn't painful. So you just have to be mindful about what you're eating and things like that. Number 4, does it get really swollen? Yes, it gets swollen, but all piercings do. Like, I've had my Monroe pierced, and I've had my Labret pierced, and things like that, and all piercings do swell, but the swelling goes down. And I think the piercers even inform you, like, take ibuprofen to keep the swelling down. And you might think it's not that big of a deal, but honestly, do it. Take the ibuprofen, even if you think you don't need it. It will help speed up the healing process. I swear to you, it does help. Number 5, can you talk afterwards? So obviously you can talk. It goes along with eating. It's going to feel weird. It's going to hurt for the first little while. You're not going to want to, like, if you have a job as like a telemarketer, or in the service industry where you're talking constantly, you're probably not going to want to work the same day or the next day. I mean, you could. I've done it, but it's not going to be super comfortable. So try and plan it for a day off. If you have 2 days off in a row, get it done the first day, and then the second day just rest it and then go back to work. That would be kind of ideal. But yeah, you can talk. Number 6, how long until you can change the jewelry? I believe I waited 8 weeks. I think you might be able to do it sooner. I waited 8 or maybe even 9 weeks, just because I am super paranoid about everything growing over and not being able to get the new jewelry in on time. So I did wait 8 weeks, but ask your piercer for sure, because I am not a professional. Number 7, cleaning. The only thing that I did personally was every time I ate or kissed my boyfriend, or had something to drink that wasn't water, I would go and I would rinse with mouthwash shortly after I was done. And then just make sure you're mouthwashing right before bed and right when you wake up, just to get rid of the bacteria. Other than that, they don't really recommend you do anything, just mouthwash. Number 8, does it hurt your teeth? Yes. So some people don't have problems with this, and they have the tongue piercing, and they have it for years and years without any problem. I had mine, so I got mine done when I was 16, and I had it for, I don't know, like 10 years or so before I took it out. And it did a lot of damage to my 2 or 3 front teeth and my gum line. My gums got really sensitive, and when I took it out, everything was like it was feeling better, but then I went and got it re-pierced because I missed the piercing. So it does do damage to your teeth. There are ways around it. Obviously, don't bite on your jewelry or anything like that. And you can get like the flexi plastic barbells and plastic beads, which still can damage your teeth, but it's less damaging than the stainless steel. So just consider that. Number 9. Somebody asked, I'm a smoker, how much do I need to clean? Basically, if you're a smoker, I think they tell you every time you have a cigarette, go rinse your mouth and then Listerine, just because smoking is obviously, as you know, fairly dirty, and there's lots of chemicals and stuff in cigarettes, and you don't want your tongue to get infected. It's kind of an important muscle in the body. So pretty much every time you have a cigarette, or every time you have a cigarette, go rinse your mouth. Number 10, was it worth it? I mean, I guess it just depends on your reasoning, your personal reasoning for getting the piercing done. I got it for the aesthetic value. It doesn't really do anything else other than I like the way it looks on me. It doesn't, it doesn't enhance anything elsewhere. I just like the way it looks. So for me, yeah, it was worth it. How long before it grows over? So the tongue piercing varies person to person, obviously. I've had mine out for surgeries that lasted a couple of hours, and then I was able to put it back in after about 2-3 hours. So I'm not sure. It depends on the person, but I've left mine out for sure 3 hours, and I was able to get it back in without a problem. So I wouldn't leave it out for too long. Unless you absolutely have to, like in my case, a surgery. But yeah, so there's that. And then just a couple little tips, like after you get your tongue pierced, don't drink through a straw. Like don't go get yourself a milkshake or a smoothie or anything like that. Straws are not going to be your friend because the muscles you use to suck through a straw are going to actually irritate your tongue ring. I made that mistake. Also, swallowing is going to feel really weird. So every time you swallow something, whether it's food or whether you have a drink that you're just sipping at, it's going to feel weird. You're going to feel like the bead is going to come off and you're going to swallow the bead. But I assure you, your piercer is going to put the bead on tight enough that it can't just come off like that. It shouldn't come off like that anyways. But that's one thing. Swallowing is going to feel really weird for you for the first little bit until you adjust to just having a tongue ring. And then the last point is don't bite the jewelry. Whatever you do not bite the jewelry. I know I see a lot of people with tongue rings out there that just kind of do this and bite on it. Don't do that. That's how you damage your teeth. That's how you damage the jewelry. And if it's metal, like the one that I have is stainless steel, why would you want to chew on that? Like, I get it. For me, it's an anxiety thing. I like to play with my tongue ring a little bit when I have really bad anxiety and my anxiety is really high, but try not to do it. Please don't do it. That's how you damage your front teeth. And pretty much every time you go to the dentist, be prepared for them to make comments about your tongue ring and tell you all the reasons why you shouldn't have one. But other than that, that's all I can really think of. Those are the questions answered. And I have another video coming up about another one of my piercings that I have a few questions on. So if you guys want to see that one, it will be posted next. And if you guys have any other questions, just post them in the comment box below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.